Hi, we're Beware of Darkness.
And we're with the LA chapter at Sunset Sessions.
For me, the only band I ever knew was the Beatles until 6th grade. So I grew up only on that. And I remember growing up in elementary school, there was Beach Boys kids and there was Beatles kids, and like we didn't talk to the Beach Boys kids because the Beatles were way cooler than the Beach Boys. So then I got to like 6th or 7th grade, and my dad's a huge music buff. So I would just play Help over and over again, and like the White Album over and over again. And he's like, "Oh, you should check out this other band. Like they're pretty cool." I was really into video games. I don't know if you know anything about video games, but I was into like Zelda and Mario. So he put a song on, and he's like, "Check this out. Like the flutes are kind of like Zelda," and it was Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. So then I got into Led Zeppelin after that, and then that's my experience. These guys got different.
My experience, or I guess what got me into music is that my mom is like a huge like music history buff, and in our house the radio is never off. It's always on, even when I sleep. The birds fall asleep to it. It's the first thing my mom's like listening to the radio, making her tea, calling in the radio stations, always winning tickets and stuff. It's nonstop. There's a clock outside my room that goes off every 15 minutes, and it's Motown. So.
And I think both our parents go to so many concerts.
Yeah.
So what about you guys?
Yeah, I grew up on a lot of jazz, R&B, like Herbie Hancock and Pat Metheny. My first concert was Herbie Hancock, and I've just been to so many concerts growing up. My parents were really into music, and I started playing the bass at like 4th grade, and I just played all day, every day. You know, my parents were going through a hard time, and that was like my outlet. You know, and I just played nonstop, like all the way to high school, like every day, all day. And it's always been like jazz, R&B, funk, but rock was always like in the forefront of that. You know, so.
I'm kind of similar to him. Like, I grew up on like soul and R&B and blues and rock and roll. So like Sam Cooke and Benny King, and then like a lot of the blues guys, like real blues guys like T-Bone Walker, and B.B. King, and John Lee Hooker, and those kind of guys. And then I heard Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then I got to like more into blues rock, and like later in the high school, go to like Zeppelin and stuff. But yeah, and jazz in high school too. But same thing. I just played all the time. That's why I'm here. I guess that's why I'm here, because I did better at music than I did at school. So
Yeah.
This is what I do now.
It's so great touring because you can keep in touch with everybody you meet, and we're in this age where you play a show and you know how successful it was after when you check your Facebook or Twitter the next day, when you see people post about you. So it's really great because it's just artist directly to fan, and there's no walls or barriers.
And it's fast. It's so fast.
Yeah.
Everything's connected. You meet like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
That's rad. It's fun.
So I moved to LA, and I think one of the most influential parts of me living there was the Mila Music, where you can just walk in and buy $3 CDs, and just go crazy. There's no real loss. You're just like, oh, I'll try this CD. So I'd go in there for hours and just buy $200 worth of CDs and just try new music. So I grew up in Santa Barbara, and it was pretty limited, what you could get. So you just walk into Mila, and just everything is exploding to you. So I started getting into all the Beatles solo albums. So I bought like Imagine, Plastic Ono Band, and Ram with Paul McCartney, and then I bought All Things Must Pass by George Harrison. And something really, really resonated with me about that record, where it's like what he was talking about. It's got pop sensibility, but there's really meaningful lyrics behind it, and it's George Harrison putting his beliefs and trying to make things better with songs. And there's something really spiritual about that. So got to a point where we were looking for a band name, and I went through we all went through, it took forever. We went through some really, really terrible ones, like Mother Manic and Modoc.
Porch Clan.
What?
Yeah. See, so I think I was looking at the back cover of the album, and Beware Darkness was I think it's the second or third song off the second side, or third side because it's a double album, and I was like, oh, that might be a rad band name, and I looked it up and no one had it, so that's how it goes. And it's great too because we were just telling somebody that like I'm into word etymology. And it's great because the name has a bunch of different meanings to a bunch of different people. For me, you take beware apart and it means be aware. And I think the album, there's themes running through the album of like awareness versus ignorance, and honesty and truth. So it's funny because you meet kids on the street and they're like, yeah, beware darkness. That's a heavy metal name. We've had like people scoff at it, because they're like, oh, you get, But then we've been on the road, and every time we have a shirt that says Beware Darkness, and every time we wear it, we get a reaction from somebody. And there's, we were in, where were we?
Was that?
Yeah, it was Idaho. It was in Idaho. And we sit down to breakfast, and I was really grumpy because it was like 6 in the morning. And there was a whole group of Christian people going to a conference, and a lady, saw our shirt, and she was like, oh my God, like this relates to my life so much, beware darkness. Because that's the thing, you look at the band name and you're like, oh, it's a heavy metal, like, darkness. But you look at it and it's the opposite, it's beware of it, So that's the thing too, I feel like, on the surface and the outside you can look at something and it seems really daunting or intimidating or afraid, but then you look deeper and then the meaning behind it, and it's positive.
Support music because music is probably the best thing in the world. It's not a great answer, but
That was a good answer.
yeah.
It made me believe.
Because music can break down barriers and communicate, with
It's universal.
yeah, it's universal language, so universal
Or music because it
vibration.
saves lives.
Yeah. You go. Are you sorry? I didn't
Nah.
cut you off.
Because music makes us happy.
Yeah. I think for me, it's support music because it's spiritual.
Yeah.
It's like it helps. Yeah, it does. It helps a lot of people, and it can make your life better. And you know what it is too, is with songs are great because you can write a great song about something like going through a breakup, which is the cliche thing, and someone else can hear it and be like, let me phrase this better. It's uniting people because it's saying, this is what I'm going through, and I think successful art is where you play it to someone else and they can, relate to it. And I looked at the very end of the bar and I saw somebody who looked just like me, but a little bit taller, just, kind of creeping it. And it was an R&B show too, so like I was the only white kid there. So he stuck out like a Thor And so, he comes up after, he's like, hey, I play drums, like, we should get together, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I checked him out, and I was like, oh my God, he's a fucking amazing drummer, and it was Tony. So then we started playing shows together around LA, and Dan is originally from Philadelphia, and his dad lives in Vegas, which is where we are right now. So his dad was basically like, oh, by the way, you have a half-brother that I never told you about, who lives in Santa Monica. So Dan was out there visiting Santa Monica, and then that's where we hooked up with him. And
It was supposed to be like a vacation, and I
Uh-huh.
met him and ended up staying out there. And I've been out there ever since. So.
Yeah.
And I was really fortunate because my dad's neighbor out here works for Southwest Airlines, I think. So she gets me free tickets so I can go home and visit my mom. So it's like she's made it really easy. It just worked out like so well. It's just
Yeah.
weird.
And we met Nick on Facebook.
My friend is a drummer. He actually wanted to be in the band for real. And because you should check these guys out, and he told them about it, and I saw his post or something on Facebook.
Yeah.
Or I think my drummer friend who wanted to be in the band approached me and said you should check these guys out.
Yeah.
You dig their music, and it was true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it. So yeah.
So So Bob Dylan was playing a song, and out of nowhere, this guy, he had something written on his chest, like "Food Not Bombs" or something, and was making a protest. And then, and Bob Dylan was just turning around like, "What the hell is this?"
I liked Janet Jackson's tribute to Michael Jackson. I think it was last year, 2 years ago. I like that. I haven't seen many of the Grammys, but that was one that I really liked.
Did you see when Marlon Brando didn't accept his award? Did you see that? And he had the Native American girl. Did you see that? That was heavy. That was the most rock and roll moment I've ever seen.
Different show.
Hmm?
Different show.
I know.